We'll call this regularly scheduled meeting of the Nicholas County Commission to order. Today is Wednesday, November 6, 2024, and it's 9:05 a.m. Patty, would you mind to check and see if we have anyone from public comment?
Oh, sure.
We have her. We have her. Need something?
I just want to see if it's on there.
Oh, okay. Looks like I got her pen.
No, we do not.
Okay. That being said, if one of you gentlemen will please begin with the motions.
Upon review of the minutes of the October 16, 2024, and special meeting of October 28, 2024, as presented by the Nicholas County Clerk, we make a motion to waive the reading and move to approve as presented.
That motion's on the floor. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those against? Motion does carry.
Upon review of the exonerations as presented by the Nicholas County Assessor, move to approve accordingly.
That motion's on the floor. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those against? Motion does carry.
Upon review of the estate and fiduciary matters as presented by the Nicholas County Clerk, move to approve accordingly unless otherwise noted.
That motion's on the floor. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those against? The motion does carry.
Upon submission of budget revisions received from elected officials and department heads, the commission will take appropriate action as deemed necessary.
That motion's on the floor. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those against? The motion does carry.
Upon review of the invoices as submitted by the various departmental offices, the commission will take the appropriate action as deemed necessary.
That motion's on the floor. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those against? The motion does carry. For terms of office expiring this morning, we do have the Nicholas County Parks and Recreation Commission. First up, we have Kathleen Curry to fill the unexpired term of office expiring October 15th of 2026.
Yep, I was actually looking to verify these. So for Kathleen Curry, I've got Miss Jessica Taylor. She attended the last meeting and expressed interest to be on the board. So I'll make a motion that we
Yeah, where
appoint her to
she's
that
from?
position. Craigsville.
Craigsville.
Yep.
Okay, the motion is on the floor to appoint a Jessica Taylor of Craigsville to the to fill the unexpired term of office expiring October 15th, 2026. Is there any other nominations? Hearing none, all those in favor of Jessica Taylor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those against, the motion does carry. We also have a second vacancy on the Nicholas County Parks and Recreation Commission with the term of office expiring October 5th, 2024. So we're actually already expired for a 3-year term.
We've got a recommendation from the board for Mary Igo. I guess she would start the new term through 2027.
Okay.
I'll make the motion.
Motion's on the floor for Mary Igo for term of office expiring October 15th, 2024 for a 3-year term. Any other nominations? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those against, the motion does carry. Concerning the Nicholas County Building Commission, we have Mr. W.D. Smith with a term of office expiring October 17th, 2024 for a 5-year term. It's my understanding that Mr. Smith is willing to serve another term, which would be expiring October 17th of 2029.
Is it 4 years?
So
5 years.
5.
Okay, I'll make that motion.
Okay, that motion's on the floor. Is there any other nominations? Hearing none, all those in favor of W.D. Smith signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those against, motion does carry. That being said, we're just a moment early. Do you have anyone else coming from Rotary?
No.
Okay. So we do have Mr. Billy Dyer here on behalf of the Summersville Rotary Club regarding a financial assistance request.
Yeah, we have two actually. Matt Leach phoned me about possibly Rotary Club helping the school system out in Craigsville buying vape detectors, and was wondering if the county could partner with us on that. They need about 6 vapes. We put them in the the junior high school up here. They work really well. It's really helping. We could have some kind of a partnership. We're looking at about $10,000 to put those in. And then the school will actually hook them up. And then the other one was, we bought some wristbands to give to the kids about suicide awareness. And that was about a $1,200 purchase there. So if we could get help on those two, it'd be great.
Now, on the vape detectors, they can be moved to the new school,
Yes,
correct?
they can.
So it's not a one-time purchase, or it is a one-time purchase.
And the wristbands had the suicide prevention hotline imprinted on them. And that came following the tragic events in Webster County a few weeks ago.
Did you mean for it to be shut?
You said the total on the vape detectors was about 10,000?
Yes, sir. We bought 4 and we wrote a check for $65.88, so about 16 apiece.
And then, I would say let's go 75%. On both those and take it from the opioid funds.
I'd do 75% on the vape detectors.
Yeah, that's definitely a necessity. I know we had the Richwood Chamber banquet, superintendent Beam said that that basically over the past 2 meetings, they were expelling 11 kids
Wow.
for vapes. So
Well-
if we can, that'll be a strong deterrent. If I had my way, they'd shut those places down. Yeah, I'm all good on that. 7,500 on the vape detectors. Out of the opioid funds.
Definitely.
And then the wristbands, whatever you guys think on that.
I'll just pay the whole thing. $1,000.
Half.
So that'd be what, 62?
I don't like salaries and surveys like Gary says. For novelties.
That's one for every, those are going to be both high schools and middle schools, is that what that is?
Yes.
The high schools and middle schools.
Actually, they also went to some other schools outside the county,
Okay.
in Webster County and Bay County.
Clay.
But these are schools that there are Nicholas County students attending, or
I got
Nicholas
you.
County people attending.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
You'll have to make a motion.
Oh, okay. So we're looking at somewhere between half and 3/4, and half and full, whatever.
Whichever. I guess my recommendation would be 8,100.
Total.
Half of the braces, but 3/4 of the vape detectors.
So
Because the detectors are, I think, a little more
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm all over that.
beneficial.
All right. Make a motion on the $8,100 towards that entire allotted program out of the opioid funds.
Okay. That motion's on the floor. Is there any other nominations, motions? Not nominations. Are there any other motions? Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those against, the motion does carry, and appreciate your all's good work.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you.
Yes, that's an important thing. Okay, we're here now. The request of Herbert Taylor regarding the request to accept copy of will of Cynthia Diane Taylor. Do we have a file number on
I
that?
think it might be backwards.
Say it again.
I think Herbert Taylor is the deceased, is that correct?
No, that was my grandpa.
Okay,
It was his Cynthia Diane Taylor.
okay.
Do we have the will?
I've got a copy.
Okay. You can keep yours.
Okay.
Just here to begin with, Herbert Taylor,
That's me.
that's you. So before I even ask that question, anyone and everyone that thinks they might want to speak on this appointment, and Lee, can you still hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
That includes you too there. If anybody intends to speak on this and answer questions of the commission, I'm going to ask you to raise your right hand. And Lee, I'm going to go with you on the honor system. Then everybody else that wants to speak, you have to raise your right hand now, please.
Okay.
Anybody else? Keep your hand up.
Yep, couple times.
Do you and each of you solemnly swear or affirm that the matter now in hearing your testimony will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Lee, do you accept as well?
I do.
Thank you. So that being said, Mr. Taylor, if you'd like to explain your request while we begin to review the copy here.
So basically, the lockbox has the original will in it, and I can't get it without starting probate, and I can't start probate without the original will. So I'm gonna stalemate.
Gotcha.
Is it a personal one or it's like a safe deposit box or?
Yes.
Okay, safe deposit. Okay.
I just need your pages in order. Well, those are the only two, then here's the actual.
When did the decedent die?
When she died,
25th.
25th of September.
September?
Of this year?
Yes.
Okay. And this instrument was prepared by Brent L. Van Devison,
He's out of Charleston.
and he's out of, yes, Charleston, Morgantown. There is two witnesses, at least on this copy, and it was finalized May 7th. I'm sorry, May 3rd of 2016.
Is anybody objecting to it?
Lee, are you still on the phone?
Yes, sir.
Just want to make sure you hear. Is there anyone objecting to this request of accepting the copy of the will with the expectation we'll receive a copy of the actual will after it would be retrieved?
No, I have no problem with that.
Did any of you all?
Typically, a copy of a will is not a,
Sorry.
you can't probate a copy of a will. But under these circumstances, nobody was objecting. I would recommend that you allow it, with the understanding that you set it for the next meeting to make sure that the original has come in.
I agree with
So we're basically just granting permission to access that
Yeah.
safe deposit box, and from there we can move forward.
And I can do that all today, right?
Sure.
I can bring it back.
Sure.
that. Should be able to, yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, and that's a lesson learned. You always have somebody else in your safety deposit box.
You guys are from out of state, right, Trevor?
Yes.
Yeah, I just-
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, from North Carolina.
And when it lists this in here, Herbert R. Taylor, that's you, not your grandfather.
Yep.
Okay. And Lee's on the phone and you're Gina. And you know the will's in the box?
That's what the note said in the box that I got. So she told me if something was to happen to her, where a box was in her home. So I went and picked it up, and there was a note that said that the original was in the lockbox. But we went and checked, and I wasn't on the lockbox, so they wouldn't let us in.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
I make a motion that we accept the will with conditions that it's providing access to the safety deposit box and that will be returned today or tomorrow.
Absolutely today.
Go by the next commission meeting.
Yeah, and if he does, I mean, I'm sure they're going to, I know these people very well, so I know they're going to follow up on that. And if that happens, we just won't have to have that meeting or on the agenda for the next meeting.
Lee, just want to make sure and see if you have anything else to say before the commission makes their decision.
No, sir, I'm good with everything.
Okay. That being said, we do have a motion on the floor. Any further discussion or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those against, the motion does carry. So that'll help you get everything started there, and
Save you a trip back.
absolutely right.
You'll also need her social security number.
Yeah.
And Mr. Lee, we appreciate your time this morning, okay?
Yes, sir, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Same to you all. Appreciate it. And good luck to you.
Thanks very much.
It was always a pleasure. We just missed Denny by a day. Vitamin G, ready to move. He's always nice.
Okay, we're here now with Chief Deputy Johnny Evans and Sheriff William Nunley. And this is regarding a request, a new position for a bailiff for Judge Tucker and purchase of uniform for that new bailiff.
Thanks, sir.
So that's halfway right.
Okay.
That's what you told me.
Well, you're halfway right.
That's what you're, that's what you
That
told
guy's
me.
halfway wrong. All right. So I want to partner with the commission on a new look for the sheriff's department. And y'all probably have seen the new cruisers that we have, the new striping on it, on them. They're different, but they really match what most state sheriff departments do. Back when Wetzel was sheriff, they voted statewide to do a couple things that would make us more uniform throughout the whole state as deputy sheriffs. One of them was striping on the cruisers. The other one is the type of uniform pants that we wear. And the uniform pants we wear are black with a black stripe. Actually, the state pants are charcoal gray with a stripe. And if you look on the second page, that's all of our sizes, and there's about 52 of them, and then they're $90 a piece. That's not been put in the budget for this year, so if we would do that, we would probably need a little help on that. I would like to get a new badge style for the deputies. This may just, and if you look at the second or third and fourth page, that's the kind of badge that I want to go to. And I think that this could help with morale with the department. And some of the uniforms, some of the guys, they don't ask for uniform pants and shirts and a lot. So I know when Billy became sheriff, he bought a lot of that stuff, but like some of them, if they've been here that long, they probably haven't had new pants for 8 years. So it's just the way they are. So there are a lot of things that I want to do for the department, and I sat down and got prices on some things and realized that I can't do it all at the same time. So I got to do it in phases. And so with the vehicle striping, we're taking care of that, and the new name tags for the deputies, because you can see just my name tag. I've only had it a couple years and it's all scratched up. And so I'd like to do that just so I want our deputies to look very professional and to have a good appearance when they're out in the public. And so those are the two things that I want to do right now, is with the uniform pants and the new badge. So y'all can think on that, and that's the, I got the total amount right there, what we would be needing. And so then we can talk about the second judge bailiff.
Just real quick before you go there.
Okay,
52 pairs of pants, how many will that be a piece?
3.
Okay, and what's the typical number, like the longest, do they usually work 3 on 2 off, 4 on 2 off? What's the typical range of?
They're working, most of them work 4 10-hour shifts.
So 4 days straight?
And then if we can get enough deputies to go, my goal is to do 24 hours. And whether that's 12-hour shifts or back to 3 8-hour shifts, I don't know how we would do that yet, but if we can get that, and when we do some of this other stuff, we may be able to free up a deputy to maybe look into that scheduling difference to where we can provide more hourly coverage in the county than what we are right now.
Well, mostly what I was looking at with that is that, it's not like 2 pairs of pants and sometimes they work 5 days straight.
No.
So then you're recycling those things. a couple
We've always
days at a
done
time.
3 pair. I really don't know. I mean, we've just always done 3 pair, 3 sets of uniforms, 3 long sleeve shirts, 3 short sleeve shirts, 3 pairs of pants.
Right.
And now what we call brown shirt, Jason and if you see down through there, we'll add a couple more positions for that. Hopefully, they would still wear the brown shirts and the black pants. They wouldn't wear the gray pants.
Just
So that's
as a
why I don't have to
differentiator.
buy it for them. It's just that.
But
But
then-
my goal is to buy Class B uniforms, to create a Class B uniform that we've never had.
Right.
But that's a little costly.
Understood.
So I was looking at the budget, and if we can continue doing what we're doing in the budget, we should have some money left in that. And maybe with July's new budget, maybe we can figure out a way to go ahead and do that expenditure. And then that evening shift and the night shift and the weekend guys can wear the Class B uniforms, and then that won't mess up their Class A uniforms as bad.
Now, what do you consider the Class B?
It'll be what they call a rapid shirt, and it's more of Fayette County wears them, but they're just like a polo kind of way. And then the pants are more of they're not a BDU pants, they're like what they call PDU pants, professional dress uniform, and they're just a little bit different material. So when they run through briars,
Yes.
stuff like that, they won't rip. This, if you get a briar on this, you'll get a pull out, and I mean, it's just, eventually you'll get a hole in there. I want to do that and get them some new boots for that Class B uniform. They'd all have the same uniform. They maybe would wear a baseball cap instead of a campaign hat.
So if you're working like, I'll use the fair for instance, they'll
Right.
wear a polo and a baseball cap.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
So what kind of dollar figure would you need?
Well, I figured it up the other day, and we're about 30 grand for all the guys.
Is that for everything we've talked about though?
No, that's just for Class B uniform. Because that's giving them 3 pairs of pants, 3 shirts, you know.
Yeah.
And where do you buy from? I mean, like, could,
Galls is who I buy from, and that's, they give us, now that's before they tell me what the price actually is. So it could be a couple $1,000s,
Yeah.
less than that.
but could you go and buy pants like I've got on, and like what John wears, you know, and have local polo shirts made from a local company that have the embroidery?
Well, what we would
Is that
do
like
is.
511 or something?
Yeah,
that
we could
package.
check on prices on all that. I just ran it through Galls because that's who we deal with, but I don't have a problem with, I would probably have Collarville do our embroidery anyway, because they've already done that for the whole confinement, so they already have that emblem there. We just have to make it different colors and stuff if we need to do that.
Yeah, one other thing with Galls, in the past, there's been some other companies that's been available, but they've kind of went to the wayside. And like these pants we have now, they have to custom make these for us because no one else wears them in the state. If we go to these other uniform pants that the rest of the deputy sheriff uses in the state, they have those on hand all the time because, I mean, obviously there's a lot of people ordering. So they have those done up, but they do custom make those as well. You know, they set the black stripes on for West Virginia deputy sheriffs.
But they don't make
have that
these
stuff available.
until we order them. But
Right.
like you can order, I could probably call my guy right now and say, hey, I need 2 pairs of this size charcoal gray pants, and I'd have them probably in a couple of days. These ones takes a couple weeks because they have
Yeah.
to sew stripe on them and all that.
Well, just like at the fair, I use that as an example, because your guys look like they're totally burning up.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And-
Yeah,
and-
absolutely.
And I think that with the polo shirts would be a nice softer look.
Yep.
And kind of rebrand yourself.
I agree.
So can we take action on this part?
And the badges.
surprised you would all
you're-
wanna take action
you're-
on.
You're taking 2 things and combining it into one with the new badges, right? You don't need the name tag because it's actually on one of these badges?
No,
No,
there's just
I'll still need a name tag, but that's not a big expense, so
Okay.
that's not
They're
something I'm
fairly
asking y'all for.
reasonable.
So, the badges, I thought about putting everybody's name on them, but then I'm like, well, we haven't had turnover for a minute, but I don't want to, I want to give them something to look forward to. If I stay here till I'm a corporal, I'll get my name on my badge, you know.
Gotcha. What's that run about per badge?
Um,
$150?
I think it's set it on.
badges is 30.
If you look right side of it, it's 100, like mine'd be $175.
Yeah, 100%.
Because that also reduces the chances of somebody impersonating an officer or things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, and like you said, there's a sense of pride that goes along with that.
Right.
So, I'm 100,000% for it early on. I know that we need some versatility. We need, something that attracts the young folks in, and I think almost like a branding aspect of things. I mean, I think it's
I
a
would
very
ask,
good investment.
bring us those prices too, on the upgrade uniforms.
Across the board.
Yes.
Is there a state bid for that?
The
uniform?
uniform pricing, yes.
So you can buy a state bid, so it doesn't have to be, they don't have to.
Well,
do
it's,
that.
yeah, Gauls has that, yes.
And that's predominantly where a lot of departments in the
That's
state
where
buy.
everybody in
Well,
the
that-
state
yeah.
uses.
After
Now,
we
local
get uniforms
personalization.
left, that's the only-
Yeah, West Virginia Uniforms was a big company.
There's
We dealt with
a company in
Charleston.
Charleston, but I've checked the prices on
It's
them,
high.
and they're higher.
They're really high.
But if I need something emergency, it's a good place to go, but.
If you need something to pinch and need it today, you can drive down there and grab it, but they're high.
So if you have the what do you, B and A, right?
Mhm.
That's A?
This would be A.
Okay, so if you have the
With
B,
the
are they
Bs.
more likely gonna wear the Bs or the As, or is that equal? Like, would you need
All
three
my day,
Bs and
all
two
the day
As?
shift guys would wear A's because you wouldn't be in a
Mhm.
court anywhere, master court or circuit court without your A on.
Yeah.
Even if you're evening shift, if
Okay.
you got court, you're wearing your A.
But as you rotate through the
Yeah.
shifts, you're gonna need both sets of uniforms.
Yep.
Correct. That's what I'd be interested in seeing.
Yeah, if
is,
they're working night shift, you know, in the Class B uniform, and they have to come out the next day for court, they're gonna have to switch
Switch
out
over.
their A, come to court, they'll be
Mhm.
required for the
Like
Class
gas balloons
A.
and fatigues.
Yeah, I'd like to see a total price and then any other accessories or anything that you guys need, not
I'll give them
accessories,
that.
but whatever holders, anything like that. I just
Yep.
think it's gonna be important and be a good opportunity to maybe attract some folks.
Yeah.
And I have one other question. Who services the uniforms? You and I talked about that, but I can't remember what it was.
Peter Pan, dry cleaning does that.
That's
I think they're the only ones around.
Now, if we have, like,
We're fairly
anything needs
reasonable.
sewed or anything
Yeah.
like that, we have to take it out to Tennille, but, there's a lady here right by the city building, Dennis Cherry's wife, and she does all of it for free.
So will
I've
that
tried
give
to pay her,
them,
she won't do it.
with that number of uniforms, would that give them the opportunity to have something dry cleaned and sent back and still have something you could wear?
Yeah, we have dry cleaning in our budget to where they can.
But I mean,
We
like
do,
every
it's not
single-
what we tell the guys, because we don't have enough, obviously, for every week to get
Right.
them dry cleaned. But,
Right.
you know, it's nice to get them dry cleaned every now and then, because send them off, they come back all nice and pressed and all that stuff.
Just maintain that.
Yes.
So like your shirt, if you wanted to wash it, you'd have to take all the metal off and you could actually put it in the washer.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
A lot of iron and getting increase there. And
Yeah.
those pockets are, a lot of playing around. And then is that a week turn time like most everything else is on dry cleaning?
Yeah,
Most of the time.
it's usually
Monday to
about
Monday
a
or
week,
something?
yeah.
Okay.
He's usually pretty quick, he makes a trip up every week.
Okay.
Comes every Monday.
Yeah.
So it'd be pants, alpha pants, badges, and then the complete 3 sets of shirts and trousers.
Right.
Belts and everything else, all
I'll-
interchange, badge and everything would all switch over from one to the other.
The belts and stuff will not,
Yeah.
because it's a different kind of belt.
Okay.
But I'll bring you a list of mark down everything, either the next commission meeting or the next one after that.
Yes, sir. And you said you guys are handled with striping and the name badges
Yeah,
out of your
yeah.
current budget? Okay. Awesome. Now everybody has coach the winner, all this stuff, everything they need, gloves,
Yep.
rain jacket.
If they don't, they haven't told me.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, we'll ask for the guys to put in requisitions for things they need, and a lot of them just doesn't, maybe don't want it, I don't know.
Understood.
Every now and then you'll see something new that they bought, and I'm like, where'd you get that at? I just bought it myself.
Right.
I was like,
Yeah.
why'd you do that? I can buy it for you.
Right. I understand that aspect.
Take care of yourself.
Right.
So,
Men, we like our toys.
yeah.
That's true.
I just know the uniforms, I mean, wearing one for years, it's anything you can do that you don't have to iron and dry
Yeah.
clean and rip and any of that stuff is very important.
Yeah.
Especially when you're pulling as long shifts. Your off time needs to be your off time. All right,
So
sorry
we
to stay on
consider
that for so long.
approving the new uniform pants and badge style, or we trying to wait and do it all at once?
Do it all at once.
Well, I'd rather you do that now, so then I can get that ordered today, and then hopefully by swearing in and the start of the new year, we'll have that.
They'll change over.
I mean, I don't have a problem with that myself.
All right, I'll make a motion that we, purchase
78.80.
the 52 pairs of pants,
Mhm.
correct, and the new badges at the total of $4,702 for the pants, $3,178.64 for the badges, and my recommendation is take it for the cold stars.
What about opioids? That's what I was thinking.
But that's true too.
Okay. Any clarification needed on that motion? Good.
Heavyweight fine.
The restricted.
Restricted.
Restricted. I agree with that. Do you agree with that?
It doesn't matter.
Good.
You pull that trigger today.
So that being said, that motion is on the floor. Any further questions, comments, anything from legal counsel? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those against, the motion does carry. So, very good. And now bailiff.
So what I want to do, if it's all right with the new judge, is to hire a, what we call brown shirt, because that's what everybody knows it as, but civilian bailiff. We'll have them trained and to be bailiff, to do everything a bailiff would do. And so what I want to do is Jason Odell's going to be transferring down to home confinement when Bobby Holdren leaves. And we're going to steal JJ from you. And so we'll need to post that job. There's probably a couple people out there that might be interested in it. That's come to me, talked to me about it. They may be good. We have talked to several people, trying to get people involved in that. But I know one guy that may be involved, they want that.
The brown shirt or the adult board?
The adult.
Okay, yes.
So-
I know we talked about that being a part.
But then we'll need to hire another civilian for the bailiff position, unless JJ does that. But my goal is Jason and JJ and the other guy, if we get to hire him, then they'll all be able to go and do home confinement checks. Free deputy up, won't have to go do that. Also, if they're not busy with court, they can help set with prisoners. That'll free a deputy up. Even when it comes to transporting a prisoner or a mental or something like that, they could do that. And that won't leave one deputy out on the night shift. If we could actually use that guy to burn some overtime or something like that to do a transport for us. Plus, hiring this guy will save the county money because, for one, you won't have to pay him as much as you do a deputy sheriff. So that's what I'd like to do, if it's all right with
You guys are the experts.
The brown shirt,
Well,
are they able to carry a weapon?
Yeah.
They can be
Yeah, they're
certified?
fine.
Yeah, they'll get
They'll be-
firearms
Okay.
training, all that.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Just in-house?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So all cross-functional, no compartmentalization.
See, actually, Jason's one of our firearms instructors.
Yeah.
So we sent him to the firearms school, and he does all that, does our armor stuff on our pistols and anything that he works on, shotguns.
One other thing I'll add, whoever we will choose, or the applicants we may get for the brown shirt for the bailiff, for the new judge, we'll probably get through a vetting process with them. Because one, obviously, we want to make sure the judge is going to be comfortable with who they're going to have in their courtroom as well. But, we want to make sure the judge is on the same page too.
What's the length of the training program that you're thinking about for the bailiff?
It would just be training in-house for now, but then they go to a bailiff
Bailiffs.
conference
Bailiffs.
and they do, the U.S. Marshals come in and train them once a year.
I'm not sure what the time frame is on the second hearing room. So, we really wouldn't need one until that room's ready. Otherwise, we'll just use the same bailiff. Judge Callahan and I will be sharing the courtroom, so we'll just need one day until that happens.
But
But I'd like to see that happen as soon as possible, because, otherwise you're gonna have a judge and a court reporter sitting all the time.
It would, probably the biggest holdup on the hearing room is going to be the bench, which is, you discussed that. Depending on how long that takes, our part of the construction will probably be done by January. So, depending on the rest of the stuff that comes in.
Yeah, and we've talked about that. That's the problem, really up there, is getting that, and that has to be done to specs of the Supreme Court. So that's gonna be the holdup. That's why we're trying to check with other counties who are going through this process now, who have used architects to design that, so we don't have to pay for that cost.
And whenever we can hire this guy, that'd be great, because he could start training Gerald and doing some other things there. Because we don't want to hire him January 1st and then Judge Tucker be ready for him January 2nd.
Right.
And not having any training at all.
Right, I'm just
Ranger
confused,
right away.
Yeah.
I'm just confused
So-
on how to make all this line up.
Yeah, because you, really, that hearing room, the first time in reality you'll probably use that will be March. Would you say?
February, March, yeah. I mean, we haven't started, for my docket, we haven't even started scheduling. Judge Callahan's scheduling things, but it's still subject to what we do when we come in around January 2.
So if we did an effective hire date of like January 1st or something, you could actually go out, post that position. I mean, it seems like a long ways away, but it's not. And that's
Well-
everything transitioned in.
2 months, yeah.
Yeah.
It's only 2 months, yeah.
Right. If you're saying March before they can use the room, then that would be March before you need a second person that they could work alongside the current staff for 60 days, get the training they need, help out with everything else.
Well, I'm hoping we can use the room in February, and I know what Commissioner Chapman's saying, and, you know, the sooner we can get in that room, the better.
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
feel more comfortable, I feel, getting cases moving.
Once again, another savings to the
Yeah.
county. So even December 1st or something, that gives you a month to get somebody going.
Yeah, I mean, you still got.
Fly out, get them on, get them in,
Plenty
get them
of,
start date.
the 2 weeks for public notification.
Well, then you got to throw the holidays in there too, so.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, if the judge is going to have a hearing in that room, who brings the defendant, I guess I would say, to that room? It'd be one of your deputies, right? The
It'd be
bailiff
the
stays there all the time. Now, I don't know if we've talked to you about it, but we are making to where access will come up those steps
Right.
and in through that way.
The only thing we'll have to do there is we'll have to, we've looked at that, and I think we'll have to take our evidence lockers and build them up against that wall, instead of, they're like this right now where the steps is. I think we can put them like this, and I think there'll be enough room to go through there, and it'll still be secure, because if they put evidence in there, they're locked if they lock it. And the person who has it is the 2 people that are keepers of the evidence, so.
And I think that's a great idea, frankly, to keep separation from the public.
Yeah, yeah. That's the whole plan for everything, because you can go right into the back of the courtroom that way and everything.
The only problem is if you have someone that is, you know, can't walk up steps with the shackles and stuff on very well, you know, that's something, we take everybody up the elevator just to keep that from happening, so. But we'll do whatever the judges want us to do. I mean, that's no big problem.
But we'll need the bailiff also for the civil hearings.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you said if there's nothing else going on, they'll fill one of those other roles.
Yeah.
Make it all,
Right.
good. Freeing up somebody to go out.
And if they're busy 5 days a week, 8-hour shift, then that's what that person will do.
It's a good problem to have, right?
Yep.
To a degree.
We ain't drinking them out.
Yes.
And if they don't have hearings per se, you don't have a certified officer that you can use for other things, will they do serving things when, or?
Oh, yeah, they'll be, I want them all cross-trained where they can serve papers, do the writs. The writs is most important, because if we're going to get sued, it's going to be because the writ didn't get served properly, or we took somebody's property, we weren't about to take it and sell it. And so Jason's he's a good trainer anyways, and he'll have those guys whipped into shape
Okay. And what we talked about today, what is your timeframe? What do you feel like you need to start right away, hiring somebody?
Well, I think we probably need to post it, and, I mean, I've got a couple people that'll be good candidates, so it probably takes somebody a whole lot better than him to change my mind, but we probably still need to post it.
Yes.
And then, like I said, if we can get them hired by December 1st, I don't know if we can or not, but if we can't, December 15th anyways, that'll give them some training, and, by the time that they would be in the courtroom with Judge Tucker by themselves, they would have probably at least a month or 2 experience
Yeah, 45 days or something.
handcuffing and whatever we need to do to get the job
Be
done.
ramped up, more comfortable.
Right. So really, we just need to create the position. What what, do you have any requests on like funding it or anything like that, or would that just come later?
Just be whatever the,
I guess would come out, it has to be supplemented in the civil process side,
yeah.
in the civil process budget.
So equipment, no vehicle, just be there.
Well, they'll have a vehicle, but
I mean,
we've
yeah.
already got.
Yep.
I mean, it'll just be one that we've already got. Now, next year's budget, we'll probably have to try to figure out something. Jason's vehicle he drives now is got 160,000 miles on it, I think.
Oh.
But it's a Chevy Equinox, and that's probably exactly what we buy him, because there ain't very many places in the county he ain't been.
Right.
In that
I think
thing.
we, when I came in office, we got that maybe in 2017.
But it's still a good vehicle, and it's not something that we can't use. Maybe
In
the
some
new
aspects.
process server would get a newer vehicle, and then the bailiff would drive that vehicle.
Okay, yes, sir.
Jason will be driving the truck that the home department has now, so that's not a big deal, really. I mean, we'll have vehicles for him.
So the initial approval will be salary and then uniform
Yeah.
equipment, that's it. What's the starting range on that? Ish.
I'm not sure what a courthouse employee starts out at.
Okay, so it's gonna be courthouse employee wages, okay.
Yeah.
So it's on the way.
It's on wage and hour,
Yeah.
and then what we'd want is, probably maybe work in maybe $1,000 or $2,000 in overtime, just in case they have to work on weekends or something, certain papers and stuff like that, just to help that.
Well, a lot of times, I mean, like Jason, he'll serve stuff on his way home. Because obviously if you get off at 4 o'clock and some people don't get off work until maybe 5, he'll serve that stuff. And, work a little overtime so he can get him served.
And he takes care of the range when it comes to building targets and stuff like that. I mean, that's all stuff that, he doesn't get paid what he deserves. I'll just say that.
He does not get paid for the work that he does. I can tell you that.
Very much appreciated.
He's phenomenal.
We need a motion.
Yes.
We're gonna take we'll take it from general county and if needed. And there might be a chance that they have the money by the end of the year, left over, so if we need to supplement it then. I'll just give them the okay to do it right now. Because usually at the end of the year, if you guys are running short, you come back and ask for it, so that's probably the best thing to do.
I think that's best versus as needed, yeah, so that, there's confidence that position's created, and we get our clerk and lawyer back in the room whenever we need to do an amendment to the budget and continue it, so I think that would be more clear, but yeah. We don't have a choice, but I think this is a good route about going about it, so I appreciate the extra thought you all put into this.
We're off at a whole lot of cost that shouldn't be passed on.
Yeah,
I agree.
we've been trying to just figure out, way to save some money.
Right, make the best of it.
Yeah. And,
Absolutely.
The judge like coming in, he's knew that, the right person should be okay with it, so.
I'll make a motion that we create the position for the brown shirt as a court bailiff, and that will come with the equipment and salary out of general county.
To be supplemented into that
Yep,
budget?
yep.
Yes.
The remainder or whatever the delta is on that.
Right. Okay, any further questions, comments, concerns? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those against, the motion does carry. So, thank you, gentlemen, for everything.
Thank you.
Commissioners, thank you for working with us once again.
You bet.
How soon do you think you can have the rest of
Congratulations, Commissioner.
I told you my guy, week is,
Okay,
yeah,
for the beats.
yeah.
Okay. That's boots and all, right?
What's
All the
that?
way down, boots and all.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
You gonna do the, that? Yeah, we can do that. All right, so what's your personal
Yep.
There's a whole,
I was in music.
there's a whole next week gavel out.
Yeah, they've got, they got drug court right now, so probably don't be.
Susan?
Oh my gosh. But no, I think it's a complete, you know, yeah, it's just really. Give it. On it? Free?
Yeah, I'll tell you about it.
All right.
Well, back to business.
We were talking business.
Commissioners. At the request of Commissioner Roberts, we do have a list of, discuss the creation of an approved contractor list for Nicholas County worker.
Yeah, so I actually had a meeting with a couple of folks, well, it wasn't an official meeting, but I sat down and was talking to some folks. And I know, like, it seems like a lot of times when we're bidding things out, we'll get like one or two or none, and we're kind of forced to go with what's available. And the suggestion was that we actually have a vendor list, and that once, you know, there's a project created or we initiate it, that it's sent out to those folks proactively. And based on maybe their qualifications or skills, we vet them out that they're a legitimate business, they have a business license, they have the insurances required, and that they're a legit company, and then maybe some specializations that they have, but kind of blast it out and give us the opportunity to maybe drive some of our costs down. So it'd be something that's maintained here in the office locally, and it's kind of voluntary. If somebody wants to be on it, they can be on it. If they don't,
So is this basically just a call list?
You
Or
advertise-
they're already
but-
approved to do work?
a call list. Just gives them the opportunity, so we can actually get that out of here.
But we've got to advertise for them to come in and sign up.
Oh,
Is that what you're saying?
absolutely. Yeah, it would just, but proactively it would go out, because right now we're limited to word of mouth and the Nicholas Chronicle.
Yep.
So that's gonna keep us local with our contractors, especially when we're looking at something that's like a little bit larger. I mean, it's not worth them traveling for $5,000-$10,000.
It's not like you're pre-approving them for
No.
a project.
Correct.
There'll still have to be the bid process, but
Yes.
you'll send the bid to these.
They'd more or less sign up for a newsletter.
Yes.
Yeah.
You send a solicitation to them.
Distribution.
Yeah.
And I think we can probably drive some of our costs down with some of the things that we're doing.
You might get more interest off, obviously.
Yep. No, I think that's fine. In fact, a start on that might be if, Patty, you could review last 2 to 3 years of projects we've had and the contractors we've had in those. And I'd say that would probably be a fairly decent little size list. And then we could always branch out from there.
So like I said, I have a lot of folks that come up and say, hey, you know, how can I find out what's going on? How can I find out what's going on? I tell them read Chronicle.
Yeah.
So if it was something that went out like that, it would be an augment, not a replacement. Like I said, it's literally a blast list. There's no guarantees on anything. But hopefully we can get some competitive bids and start driving some of that cost down.
There's no conflict with us doing this,
No,
right?
no, I mean, you're not pre-approving anybody, you're just,
Right.
this is just somebody
Making
that's
them aware.
requesting information from the commission when you do a project. And actually, you could just do it through an email.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Just a distribution list that you just, boom, contractors, bring it up, submit in whatever the project is, the specs, and out it goes.
Okay. Do we need to really a motion for that, or we could just unanimous agree that that's a
Yeah.
good proposal and we need to pursue? Okay. Discuss financial assistance grant process.
So I know we'd had some conversations, and I'd like to formally ask that we adopt a financial request process throughout the county. Because we have, folks that are coming in, and I think they're asking for some pretty heavy lifts on the amount and the percentages of the projects. And I think the biggest gain we're gonna have is it makes it fair all the way across the board. There's actually a time frame. I know the city already does it, the Nicholas Community Foundation does it. And actually, as I've networked out with a lot of the commissioners around the state, most of them do not, especially I'll say the smaller counties. I mean, I'm sure Kanawha and Putnam and some of those, but they really don't have folks coming and asking for financial assistance, so there's not really a process that goes along with that. And my biggest gain with that is freeing up money, because we've got a lot of stuff we need to do in the courthouse. I think our staff needs some sort of merit increase, and we start bringing those folks up to the cost of living, especially with what we're living in right now. And then physically, the facilities here, I mean, we've got sidewalks cracked, we've got holes in the bathroom ceiling, we've got a lot of stuff that I think we should address, and hopefully that'll limit the request. We could just set a cap at, and these are all just guesstimate numbers, maybe set a cap at $100,000 a year. The initial thing that I had drafted up was a $5,000 maximum, or 20% of your total project, and vet them out. And then, as we had discussed in the past, they come back with us, and there's a deliverable that comes back around and says, here's the project, here's the results, here's how your money was used. Every other year they could apply, only once per project. It'll just keep coming back, build me a roof, and now build me walls, and now build me wiring, and do this and that. So I think it'll just it'll level it out, and hopefully maybe free up some cash. but make it official, and it'd be like there'd be a month of application, and then there'd be an approval board, and then the checks would go out probably, I guess, around September, October, when I talked to the clerk, just kind of coming up with how this would work, once we receive enough funds in. But then it's actually official, and then we could give Patty and Mary the go-ahead to say, we're not taking any financial requests until March. But just that it formally exists and folks start to know about it.
So if we approve them in March, they can't actually be funded till the fall?
March would be the grant period, and it's like I said, this is all just spitballing. So
Sure.
you would have a full month for folks to actually download or print out that application, get it back to us. So from the first Monday of March till the last Friday of March, by the last Friday, if they weren't post-dated by that date, we wouldn't accept them. The board would meet up in May for approval. The letters would go out. Whoever got approved by May 31st, we would actually select by June 30th, the last day of the fiscal year, that the authorization letters would go out that they had been approved, and then we would pay them out of that next round. So we approved the budget in March, we'd pay them out once that fiscal year started.
So we could budget this.
Yes.
We know what we're budgeting.
And it gives us some numbers to work with. And the only reason I put the delay in there was I know that it seems to be things are pretty busy through that June, July, or that July, August type of time frame. And then when I talked to Kirk Painter, we talked about funds coming in, that we would actually have enough funds in, and we're not drawing out of our carryover.
We deal with it once.
One time done. And those dates are all flexible. That was just the initial
No,
proposal.
it makes sense, yeah, actually.
The initial proposal. But we could draft something, and, but however, we need to circulate that around and make sure.
Then you
that
talk
we agree.
about the magisterial district funds?
I think we should still maintain those.
Yeah.
I do.
Each district.
Just like if we have, and I call them pet projects, they, like you guys had stated, they still go through the normal approval process of the commission. And as Mr. Tucker and I talked about, we would have a board maybe of 5. I thought of the 3 commissioners, the clerk and the sheriff, since they're check signers and have the financial interest in the county as well. We would approve them, and then that would come back to the commission to actually award that money. So.
It almost feel like our version of legal funds.
And like I said, the cap.
Just have to be a work session of the commission,
Yes.
because there's a majority.
Right.
It would be a recommendation from that board to you all to
Yes.
to distribute the funds.
And we would still have the ultimate say, and sure be the one that would.
That's not a duty that you all can delegate.
I'm absolutely 100%.
Like I said, I think the big game we're gonna get out of that is hopefully recoup or save some funds that we can put into our building and our buildings. That's once again just an advisement or a request, discussion type thing.
So, how do we line this up? Because I mean, I have no problem either, but I mean, do we just put off any financial requests from now until March to apply?
Well, and that's the whole thing, is if somebody comes in, we have the application process lined out. Probably ought to get with Tamara and even the city and see how they do it, and then go.
Well, you
follow by
looked
there.
at the city,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
And I talked to Tamara the other day. I think we're parallel on a lot of things. The biggest thing is, I think there's an integrity aspect of you're requesting the previous year's financials, and there's actually a process that goes along with it. I think it's just really simple to say, can I get on the agenda, come here and sit and ask for money? And, so if there's a buy-in from those folks as well, with literally a grant request as, most other institutions run.
I agree with the 100,000. I'll even agree with the 5,000 cap. But I think I'd make it annual, not biannual. Because we can always take that into consideration. But,
And then the one time per project. I mean, don't keep coming and dipping.
yeah, I'll go along with that.
But I think we fund not a lot of things, but I think there's some things that are funded that, they just don't have sustainability with it. They're just gonna keep coming back again and again and again. On the same project, not necessarily the same cause. Like if we were doing something opioid related, it might be 5 or 6 different approaches, but it's
Sure.
not the one thing. We're not
Right.
some sustainability project.
Well, and another thing it'll do for you is you won't have this situation every meeting or every other meeting. There's somebody here asking for financial assistance. There'll be a process for that. It'll help you be more efficient with your commission time.
We can agree. And the biggest thing from the March to May was to give us time to do some research. If there's something that we have a question about, we can pull that as well. Because I'll tell you, when I went down to the first legislative session I went to, I asked Senator Deeds, I said, is there a gain to coming down here? And he said, it's really hard to tell somebody no when you're sitting right in front of their face. So, I think we get put on the spot with that sometimes. And we do our due diligence to make sure that it is a worthy cause. They are a vetted organization. The cause is, you know, worthy of the funds, and that we have deliverables on the backside that validate. I've got I've got something drafted up, the actual application and the score sheet. It would be a point system that we would score out that would give us an advisement, not necessarily if you're the highest point, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're the winner, but it would give us something to go by.
Yeah,
Like
scale it out.
Yes. Same with the contractors and the engineers and architects. It would just be a rating system like that.
So I guess my response request approval would be the $100,000, $5,000 per project on an annual basis. One request per project, and 2 years financial statements provided to us, with $25,000 per county commission district each year. The district county commissioner can request, all three, majority vote of the commission has to approve anything out of that.
So it'd be 175 total?
Yes.
Yeah. And the 25, I mean, it's not something you have to spend. The 100, we probably would exhaust that each year.
And I would actually, yes.
Yeah.
I would like on the district funds, if we do that, the opportunity to carry over, like the legislature does with their LEDA monies. But let me ask you this, should we do this? I know of a situation of a delegate that's not for right here, that didn't spend his funds, and it just went back to the general fund. Then the new delegate started over. And while I don't think that's the best practice on the delegate's part, that should probably happen here. So I'm here for 6 years and don't spend any money. You don't have a brand new commissioner wanting to spend whatever that would be.
Double what he.
So when your term expires, your money would be in the general fund?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's on the
I'm
general
sorry.
fund anyways?
Right.
25 grand this year.
Yeah.
And for the benefit of folks that I know that watch this online, it's just like a household in my mind or a business. You save for things, and it gives us the ability, like if we've got a project in our individual district, we can actually save, for a year or so and build something. Instead of spending $5,000 on something, maybe we can spend $55,000 on something that brings, drastic input into that district. It's a different approach. But no, like I said, we could look at the document, run it through, make sure that we agree on everything, and any changes, revisions, or anything that you guys would like to see. And then we can come back and formally present something.
So the board,
Okay.
the board that determines where we spend the money is just gonna be us three, or are we gonna have a separate board? that has-
We would score them, and I think we could isolate it. Let's just say we got 30 applicants, we could score them and drop them down to 10 or 15, and then we would make that final decision. I think it just helps rank them and make sure that it takes any bias out. So if I've got a good narrative, I get a problem statement, I've got to get the impact statement, I've got to get evaluation, I've got to get sustainability aspect to my application, then, that's, of course, that's going to score higher. And it's something we know that is worthwhile.
And we publicize this, like the city does, get your grant in by a certain many things. Okay, I agree with Garrett's motion. I'll make Garrett's motion.
Now, you mentioned some, like, reviewing and stuff like that. Are you comfortable with that, or you want to wait, or what do you do?
I think we made a motion today, it would just be that process take place and they can immediately stop the financial request, and that we would reconvene and present the final product.
Okay.
That-
I mean, either way's fine with me, but I just know you mentioned something about taking some time, then looking at it one more time.
Well, we probably ought to put the plan together, like, kinda, and then approve the plan.
Yep.
Okay. So maybe.
So really, the motion is to put the plan in motion.
Create it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Create
But
it.
didn't you mention the board would consist of you three, the sheriff and Bobby?
That's my suggestion. I don't even want to call it a recommendation. But like I said, we've got all the financial stakeholders involved. And then we run everything by legal counsel, make sure that it passes that test.
The ultimate decision is yours. though.
Correct. Should we state that in there somewhere?
Yeah, we will.
Okay.
Probably have to, because we're the only ones that can actually approve the.
Correct. So the board just, it streamlines, eliminates maybe folks who don't have all their things together.
Well, yeah,
And then we would
and your
provide some
input.
feedback back to the folks. That's one of the things when I spoke with one of the state level guys, is he said, you want to provide feedback so people, they don't get frustrated or feel that there's, like, here's why, here's things you need to do. Tighten up your narrative, or, your impact was small, and maybe, $50,000 a person is not a good investment, but $3,000 is, whatever it is.
Yeah, and your review board is it's just advisory.
Correct.
Ultimately, if you find that there's another one that had more merit than what the board thought, then you also have the ability and the power to do that.
Override.
Yes.
But is there a conflict where we are a majority of the board?
No, it's just review and make a recommendation.
Just adding 2 more sets of eyes,
Sure.
I see it.
Because in that situation, we should probably make that a work session.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean, we, would be.
What I don't want to get you into is what we were into a few years back.
Delegating.
And where you've delegated your constitutional power.
Yep. That's right.
The final decision will be on us 3, or the 3 commissioners.
Okay. No, yes, I'm absolutely fine with continuing that. Anything else on that? And then discuss the lease agreement with the golf course for finalization.
The president of the golf course had approached me. They were seeking a renewable contract, and I spoke with Mr. Tucker there, and we can only enter into a 1-year agreement. We could have provisions where it automatically renews, but you said there would be a lease break agreement in there as well on our side.
Yes, you all would have the right to terminate the lease at the conclusion of any year. That's required.
Right. And they're asking for a 20-year lease, and that's definitely not something I would want to speak up to. I told him 3 to 5, probably 3, so they could see that. And I think there's a
I think we
concern.
did 5 before.
Yeah,
Well,
but I don't know that it had the provision in it that you could terminate the lease.
No, I doubt it did. It was just a 1 year with 4 renewals. Yeah.
So some of the concerns, and I just want to put this on public record, there's been concerns that we were going to take their money. That's physically impossible. There's been some concerns that the current lease only speaks for their access to the parking lot. Once again, that is incorrect. The lease says that the county park is responsible for litter control in the parking lot, and it does give them full access and full control over the nine-hole golf course. There was also some concerns that on the initial lease, that was a 20-year lease, and I mean, that's what I told them. I don't know what went on in the past. I can't speak for the past, but
Right.
we can speak for what goes on currently in the future. And just finalize that and get it out to them, because I think they're a little uneasy that, it's taking so long to get that out. And I explained, I said, it's where you fell in the stack of priorities.
Yep.
They can continue to play golf, they can do their things, but just so we can, I think they just had a board of elections, and we can get them something out and get them settled down on that. They'd asked for a reduction in the potential rate increase of 5% to 3%. I don't support that. I would say stick with the 5%, just like everybody else. They all get the same type of contract. But if we can just get that finalized.
I mean, if they really want to request the 3 instead of the 5, they can give us 2 years financials and we can review those.
Right. Yeah, I think it's just what does it say? Shoot for the stars, hope for the moon, or however that goes. Yeah.
Because I don't think their financials will back that up.
Right. So, but I know we have something that we've received, and we were all good with everything on that. And I think we've got everything. So, based on what we had previously, I mean, I would be okay with issuing that out as is, with a 3-year automatic renewal. And I think we had talked about, how did we say that? There was something we said about that. No, it's mixing projects. So it'd be a 3-year or 5. I'm okay to go 5. I don't have a problem with that.
If you have the right to terminate, it doesn't really.
Correct. Yeah, it could be
It's just kind of
158 years.
peanuts.
Yeah.
But I would go no more than 5.
Right.
There was an annual escalation, wasn't there?
Yeah, I would leave that at 5%. That's what I would ask for, 5%, as everybody else is. That's a cap, and that the automatic renewal will be in for 4 more years in addition to the first one to get out. So we get that over.
Is the agreement that you have now, what does it say about the upkeep or things like that? Because I know they came to us one time, we had to pay for some drainage out there, and then we put new roofs on the buildings, and so, I mean, if they've got the kind of money they say they got in the bank, we need to pull back from that.
Net,
I'll
net.
double check.
Net.
Yes.
Right?
Net.
Yeah, and I think they're okay with that, perfectly fine with it. We had some discussions along that line. But I'd like to get that, like I said, finalized, and hopefully we're done, because that should have been over to them in January. Yeah. Not.
It's not January, it's only November.
Yeah, we got that.
So you're saying I have 2 months to get it ready?
Right.
But I think it was, we are just letting things flow and continue on as it is. And I think that just they had some unsettlement about the fact they haven't seen anything yet.
At their next meeting, just have them invite us,
Double net.
It'd be my request to move to approve pending final review after legal counsel prepares.
So would that be one more meeting?
Well, if he sends it to us and we all say yes back to
Okay.
him, we can just do it. I'll just sign it.
You gotta wait till we do. Okay.
You got a motion on that?
I think so moved.
Oh, I'm sorry. All those in favor signify by saying aye. I don't know what you're saying. All those against, the motion does carry. Remember what you're working on. Yeah. Anyways,
New folder.
let's see here. That should be everything other than commissioners' comments. I have a few, but I'll wait till last.
I'm good.
All good?
I guess so. I don't think I have anything.
Pretty good.
I yield my time to Commissioner.
Oh, I wanna say one thing. Kudos to the county clerk's office for
Yes.
pulling off a tremendous election day yesterday and early voting, and all of you guys need to be commended.
Absolutely.
And actually, to add upon that, from the request of the Honorable Clerk Robert Painter,
Give him kudos. What else?
he said to thank all of the poll workers. They had roughly 180 people working yesterday, and this was probably one of the quickest turnarounds I've ever seen on election night. So everybody did a very good job.
Yes.
Did a very good job. I reckon that'll be it.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion on the floor to adjourn this regularly scheduled meeting of the Nicholas County Commission. Today is Wednesday, November 6, 2024, and it is now 10:26 a.m. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Quick on that one. All those against, the motion does carry, and we do stand adjourned.